If you're looking for an affordable laser and blade cutting machine, this video is for you. I just received a gifted xTool M1 cutting machine, and in this video I share unboxing the machine, setting it up, and I'll share a few projects that I made with my machine so you have some ideas on how you can use this machine. Hi there, I'm Melanie from Simple Made Pretty, where I share budget DIYs, home decor ideas, Cricut crafts, and if you like those too, be sure to subscribe so that we can keep in touch. A little bit about the xTool M1 machine. It's the world's first machine with both a laser and blade cutting abilities. Some of the features on this machine is the smart camera inside, the 3-in-1 laser cutting, engraving, and blade cutting. It has a safe enclosed design and comes with free design software. You can cut 500 plus materials with endless creation ideas. Here are some of the projects they feature on their website. I'm looking forward to using this machine for wood projects and engraving projects. And they say it only takes a few steps to set it up, so let's get started and see how that goes. So I'm sharing the full unboxing of the M1 machine. Although you can find an unboxing video on their website, it's always better to see what the real life process looks like. So the box is cumbersome and the machine box takes up the entire shipping box, so I'm just going to unpack everything while it's in the shipping box. It's protected very well and it's not too heavy. There are pink and blue mats right on top. So I'm just going to set everything aside. These are the risers for the Rotary Tool pieces, and this is the Rotary accessory kit. I got the add-on of the premium material kit, and this is the Rotary Tool. And then the machine itself, which I'm going to sit on my craft table for now. I will plan to put this on my craft cart so that way it's a little bit easier to move around, and I'll have it closer to the window for the ventilation. The lid cover has a protective film on the top and the underside that you'll need to remove. And inside there are more things, a manual and some sample materials. Like a dog tag, white sticker paper, PU leather, and basswood. They include 5 extra blades, the power cord, and the USB cord. And the exhaust hose and parts to attach the exhaust hose. And there is still more. These triangular prisms, you use these in the machine under certain materials for laser cutting, and there's another pink and blue mat. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail about the Rotary Tool and accessories. I plan to post another video sharing that setup with projects. I did want to make sure I share the premium material package because it contains some really cool items and a helpful laminated cheat sheet with the cutting instructions. This comes in handy, especially if you are not familiar with all of the materials the machine can cut. Okay, so let's go over what's in the box. There's a canvas tote. There is a package of dark wood, basswood, clear and colorful PVC. There's 2 packages of wood tags, wood coasters, a wood phone stand. There's slate coasters, a metal card case, several charms. There's white sticker paper, leather in 3 different colors, laser marking paper, lots of removable vinyl in different colors, and heat transfer vinyl in various colors. Okay, so I'm going to look over this manual and start setting up the machine. The first step in the instructions is to attach the exhaust hose. This is to push any fumes when cutting certain materials either out the window or out the door, so it's not in your home. You should use this machine in a well-ventilated area when using the laser. They also have a purifier attachment that I'm considering getting too. The next step is to install the blade, which is very similar to a Cricut machine. It's very easy to use, just don't touch the sharp end. There's a magnet inside that catches the blade, and you have to grab the two ends and twist until the blade hides inside, just enough that you see a triangle shape sticking out the top. It should be far enough that the blade won't cut you when you plop it back into the machine. The next step is to attach the power cord and the USB cord. Then turn the machine on and we're ready to start setting up the xTool Creative Space software. You can find all of the instructions on support.xtool.com. I just followed all of the prompts on my computer to install for Windows. However, I did have some issues with two drivers that said it needed to be installed, and I just selected the button to install those. My computer is around 6 years old, so newer devices probably won't have that issue. Then I installed the Wi-Fi connection because that was a feature I know I will use often. I love that the M1 has a Bluetooth connection, so I don't have to be right next to the machine when I'm using it. Now for the fun part, designing. For my first project, I wanted to cut a simple shape on basswood, and I decided on a star shape. I plan to do a test cut and see how it turned out, and then proceed with cutting more stars to make a wood banner. Creative Space is very similar to Cricut Design Space, so if you're familiar with it, this should be very easy to use. I added two circle shapes to my star so it cuts a hole and I could string my banner. And once I had those circles where I wanted, I selected all of the images and used the Unite feature under the Combine dropdown. Then I was ready to place the basswood in the machine. I used the triangle prisms underneath the basswood and went back to my computer. The camera inside is awesome. It shows you exactly what is in the machine so you can reposition the image to cut on the material easily. I went through the cut settings on this first cut pretty fast, so I'll show you on the second cut what settings I use. I also love that I can watch the laser cut through the image through the protective glass. My first cut turned out really good and was less than a minute long, so I'm going to put the wood back in the machine and add more stars to my canvas to cut. So I'm just doing copy and paste, but I also selected multiple images, and you can copy multiple images like that. You can even hold down the Shift key on your keyboard and then click on each item to select all and then combine and unite them. On the right side, you see the cut settings. I chose the laser flat, 3mm basswood material, and to cut the material. All the settings are already entered for you. However, you can adjust the settings if you select user defined material. And now we're going to let the machine work its magic. I didn't time this cut, but it seemed like it was less than 8 minutes long. And here they are cut, and they look awesome. So the user manual says you should clean debris from the machine after each use to avoid fire hazard. So I'm just using alcohol-free, fragrance-free baby wipes. I use these on my cutting mats to keep them sticky. And then I just dried the surface with a paper towel, and it looks good as new. To assemble my banner, I used some fishing line and strung it through the holes. There are so many ways you could dress these up by painting, staining, adding some glitter, beads, or ribbon. I kept mine natural and hung them in my craft room for now. I used that star design to test cut some other materials, including frosted PVC, which could be used as a stencil material, brown craft paper, leather, craft vinyl, and heat transfer vinyl. I cut these materials using the recommended settings and they had perfect cuts. Overall, I really like the xTool M1 machine. If you are familiar with Cricut, then this machine is fairly easy to start using. And if you look at the cost for similar laser machines, this one is very affordable in comparison. In my next video, I'll show you how to set up the Rotary Tool and some projects to use this tool with the M1 machine. I hope you enjoyed this video tutorial with the xTool M1 cutting machine. I'm excited to add this cutting machine to my craft room and to share future xTool projects with you. You can find links to everything shown in the video in the description, and I'd love for you to join my email list or subscribe to my channel. I send daily emails with craft projects and home decor ideas. I also have a private digital resource library filled with free printables and free SVG files. That's all for now. Bye.